Boy, have we got something to talk about today.
Hello everyone, my name is Wagwatch and welcome to another episode of How to Master. And in this week's episode we're going to be taking a look at Jiminy Kalimohan Shah, also known as Kali. She's a difficult operator to get used to, definitely. She's not the most easy person to make the most of at the moment, but come Steel Wave she's going to be a beast. And this guide is going to show you how to use her whilst she is in that particular mode, not whilst she is in her current state, which is far from optimal. So treat all the things I'm saying as though they apply to the operator update that's coming for her. That's coming on Tuesday. This video is being released on Saturday. I doubt you're going to be playing much Kali between now and then. So take what you're hearing with all of those changes in mind, and I'm going to give you a nice breakdown of how to play her more effectively at a higher level and hopefully get more value out of her, especially now that she's going to be more powerful in the form that she takes. So she's a 2-speed, 2-armor operator on the attacking side. She's a member of the Nighthaven CTU. She's from India. She's actually the owner of the Nighthaven CTU, and she fights alongside Wamai on the defending side. So 2 partners within the same organisation. She is the owner, she's the big boss, and yeah, she brings some interesting things to the table. So she is the first anti-electronics operator that we've seen in Rainbow since the release of the game, which is crazy to think of, but that is what she is. She's essentially an alternative to Thatcher, which is something the game sorely needed, but unfortunately her initial implementation in Shifting Tides just didn't cut it enough. The gun she has, the primary weapon, the CSRX 300 sniper rifle, is unwieldy at best and really bad at worst. So it's got a lot of quirks. It will one hit down to the chest, but it needs to be a clean chest shot. If you're not hitting them on the torso, and even if you clip them in the arm, you clip them in the leg, whatever, if it's just the slightest amount off that hitbox, it will screw you over and you will get angry. So don't blame yourself always. Blame the game for being so specific, but you know, that's balancing for you. And then when people do get hit by that, they will go instantly down. There's no in-betweener unless they've already been hit with a huge amount of damage beforehand, in which case they'll just flat out die because they've just been hit by a tank shell from 50 yards away. And in those situations, when you do down someone, they will instantly spin to face where you are. So they get that intel of where you are. There's also massive tracers, and you also have a very long cock time on that gun. The follow-up shot will take a long time to be ready to rock and roll. On top of that, it has a very intense optical zoom attached to the scope, which is integrated into the gun, and there's no option to remove it. The only option you have is to intensify it. So my first tip with regards to that would be, don't use the second mode unless you absolutely have to, because it really throws off your aim. There's not really a deceleration on that scope, so when you're aim down sights with the regular optical zoom that it has, that is as fast as it's going to move. So when you zoom in again, it doesn't move proportionate to the zoom that you're in, it moves just as fast. And so those micro adjustments you would have been making before turn into macro adjustments, and then you're in a bit of trouble. So don't do those things, it will hurt you. Try and stick to the normal one. But the main advice I would give you is stick to the secondary weapon, because she's getting the SPS MG9 from Clash. We don't even have to talk about the C75 that Canadian really wishes he never actually had to touch at any point in his life, especially when he was lying down on a stairway. But anyway, let's not bring that up again. The SPS MG9 is a fantastic weapon that has only been slept on because of the operator that it's been attached to up till now. Clash is much scarier than people realise, because she has this absolute monster in her pocket, and I'm talking about the SMG here. It's very good. The recoil is perfectly manageable, the damage is pretty solid, and the rate of fire makes that damage even more frightening. So believe me, when you have this thing out, you're not going to want to put it away. It is her de facto primary weapon. You might as well play it as the primary weapon at all times. That is my recommendation. If you want to succeed with Kali, Stick with the SMG the vast majority of the time. Also, you're faster with the SMG. With the sniper rifle out, you have a slowdown similar to that of Shields holding their shield, or Blackbeard holding his riot shield, or not his riot shield, his rifle shield on his weapon. There is a natural slowdown that occurs on that. The same applies to you with the sniper rifle out, whereas you're more agile when you have the SMG out. But use that gun, protect the real life, because it will protect you. It's going to be a good time, trust me guys. The other buff that's coming on Tuesday, the remarkable Steel Wave update, is the fact that now her gadget's actually viable as a replacement for Thatcher. Everyone can rejoice, because no longer are you going to have to wait 2.5 seconds for the lance to deliver its payload. Instead, you're going to have to wait 1.5 seconds. 1 second is a big deal when you're playing as a bandit and you have to try and get your bandit battery off of a wall before everything can be destroyed. Prior to now, if you were fast enough, you could pretty much take off both batteries without issue. Now it's going to be much more difficult to trick a Kali on a wall because of this change. So another tip I would like to give you in that regard to make your Kali LV lances even more dangerous is, if you're going to deploy them, stand right up at the wall. And I mean right up at the wall, because there will be no delay between you firing it, the noise of that firing coming through the wall, and the lance actually sticking to the wall. So it basically means that instead of it being 1.75 seconds or even 2 seconds because of the travel time of the projectile between you pulling the trigger and it actually hitting the wall, it's going to be instant. 1.5 seconds, or like 1.6 or whatever it is by the time it hits the wall. If you're standing right in front of it, it doesn't have to travel. They don't have to telegraph the fact that it's hitting you. All those things do make a difference, and I think as a bandit, it's going to be a lot scarier to deal with something that is instantly on the wall. You don't get the warning of the screw top being twisted like a Thatcher EMP. You don't get the warning of it trickling along the ground and making that really distinctive jingle kind of noise. And all those things are acting as a big telegraph to let you know an EMP is going to go. You've got 2 seconds, 3 seconds to take your battery off the wall. With Kali, it's going to be quick, it's going to be fast, and it's going to be very difficult unless you're properly on the ball to counter. So again, Kali players, after this patch, stick your nose on that wall. Don't get electrocuted, because that's going to telegraph it, but get as close as you can and just smack the thing on. And bear that in mind, you can shoot your lance onto an electrified wall without the possibility of it being destroyed. The thing can only be destroyed by an ADS. It can be caught by one of Wamai's magnets, or the last thing that counters it is a shot to the tail. But when you're on an external wall, you don't really have to worry about that unless someone's trying to spawn peek your gadget, which I'm kind of doubtful of. So all these things add up to make Kali a lot scarier than she used to be. I really think that she deserves to be played more. And the other reason why I think she deserves to be played more is because she has so much potential now and before as an anti-gadget operator rather than just an anti-denial operator. She can deal with evil eyes very efficiently, because instead of having to disable and then shoot like Thatcher does or like Twitch does, she can instead just eliminate immediately with one lance. It is a very favourable trade-up. You're using one gadget out of your 3 to destroy 1 out of 2 of Maestro's gadgets. That's a great trade-off. And same thing with your Banshees and things like that. If they've put them in a space where you can't actually melee it, it's probably better for you to use a lance than it is for an Ashe, say, to use a charge of hers from the big breaching launcher, whatever that's called. And same with Zofia, things like that. Your gadget is more expendable, especially if your job has already been done, or if your job isn't needing to be done. Thatcher just can't do that job as efficiently. Obviously, it can disable things, but Kali outright turns them off for good. Please remember this. If you see a Banshee, if you see an evil eye, if you see whatever it is, barbed wire on the floor, goo mines, all sorts of stuff, use your lances. And also, if you're a Thatcher player, use your EMPs. I don't ever want to see any of you guys again in a game walking into a doorway, getting hit with 15 goos in the teeth and then complaining that gadgets are overpowered when you've got 19 EMPs sitting in your pockets or spilling everywhere. It's like a big blue ball parade. And then you've got lances that are just clinging to your boots and you've got one stuck in your toes, and it's just a horrible sight for everyone, and you're the one sitting there going, why is this gadget dealing so much damage today? Why am I moving so slowly? Oh, PRD Blackwatch, what's going on here? Why can't we need to take it? No, don't want to hear it. I want to hear you sending your LV Lances down to take the enemy to a different state of destruction. I want to see them broken. I want to see their hearts snap in half. I want to see them sit there and go, damn, today's the day that I uninstall. Steel Wave killed my happiness. That's what I want to see from you guys. I want to see you kill other people's happiness because you use your gadgets properly. So take this information. Do me a big favour. Give your family a hug. Tell them you love them. And tell them, ladies and gents, say hello to the newest Cali men on the block. I've been PRD Blackwatch. This has been 4 in the morning. I'll see you in the next one. Do svidania, everybody. Bye-bye.